A true, very creepy surveillance story. So, first of all, I only just discovered this subreddit today, which reminded me of something that happened to me in 2008. This was a huge thing to my friends and family, and I didn't really talk about it back then as it scared the fuck out of me. But it was a while ago, and it's a really well-known creepy story among myself and my friends and family. But I think I may as well share it as it is admittedly terrifying. I was living with my parents and sister in Brisbane, Australia at the time, 2008, which means I was 19. I remember my dad had just got Foxtel cable TV in Australia, but only the TV in the lounge room could use the cable box, and I really wanted to somehow get the cable in my room without paying $99 or whatever for a new box. So Dad one day went out and bought an AV transmitter receiver. It was basically a two-piece bit of hardware where you would plug this tiny box into the cable TV in the lounge room, and it will transmit a video signal to the receiver connected to the TV in my room. Uh, I did that too in the past when we had cable. I did. So one Sunday, I decided to connect it. This is a picture I took of the setup when I was telling a friend the story. Will we see the picture? Ah, okay. So we have the proof. Okay, that's good. My younger sister, 16 at the time, was the only other person home at the time. Upstairs in her room, my room was downstairs. I opened the box and connected up. At first, I was going back and forth trying to get cables right, trying to get the channel right, etc. But no luck until I finally got something. I remember just sitting there and something started buzzing in. This is where things start to feel like horror movie. I remember thinking, "Oh, here we go," and waiting to see the picture come in clearly. As it started fuzzing in, I remember that this whole time the cable set-top box wasn't even on. And that's why it wasn't working this whole time. But then why was I getting a signal? It seemed to all hit me at once as I realized the box was off. The picture fuzzed in and I saw a bed. First picture I took. I'm scared. Hey, damn, that looks creepy as fuck, bro. I freaked the fuck out as at first I thought it was my bed. I had recently seen Saw 2 and remember that scene where she turns on the TV and it's camera filming in her apartment. That was the first thing I thought of. I sprinted upstairs to my sister, absolutely terrified. I told her to come down and take a look. She came down and we both realized it wasn't my bed. We didn't know whose bed it was. How I was getting the signal. Obviously, it was the AV receiver picking up a camera signal, but we were just so confused as to what it was for. Eventually, my parents came home and we concluded that it would have to be a neighbor or someone living close by for us to be receiving the signal. We waited around until 6 p.m. And then someone came into the room. OMG, fuck. I'm gonna blur this. Oh my freaking god. My dad recognized it as one of our neighbors. We still didn't know what the camera was for, but we assumed it had something to do with fidelity. Either his wife or he had set up to watch the other and see if they were cheating. Either this or it was to tape themselves having fun. We entertained the idea that he was uh, um I don't know what to say. He was a dangerous man and would film himself being dangerous to other people in his room, but just to freak each other out. We'd always make jokes about how one night we'll turn it on and it will be just his face with clown makeup. Bro. Staring at the camera, waving, and then him walking out of the bedroom with a balloon. This never happened, but what did happen was still super creepy. We connected to his signal for over a week, but after a few days, the novelty kinda wore off. We felt a bit weird watching it. Well, it was weird. You should not have watching it. And just resigned to the explanation that it was to catch his wife cheating until one day we turned it on and realized what we had discovered. Our neighbors were having a bunch of renovation done to their house. During weekdays, they will be out and there will be workers at the place pretty much all day. It had been like this for over a month. We started watching the feed and saw a man walk in their room. It was the plumber that had been there regularly for the renovation. We didn't think anything of it until he started opening drawers. He smelled panties. I called out to my mom, only person home at that time, and we started watching it. He started getting the wife's underpants. He was right. And sniffing them, doing all that creepy shit. At first, we were like, oh my god, how embarrassing. He's being filmed with the neighbors. Will the neighbors see this somehow? But then what happened next was truly terrifying. He slowly walked over the camera and looked right down the fucking lens. Oh my god, he put the camera there? We were convinced that he knew we were watching. Mom immediately called Dad. I kept watching. He started fiddling with it and then put it back down. Wow, I told Mom that I don't think he knew we were watching, but he's definitely the guy that put the camera there. Dad came home, and by this time, the plumber had left. Much to Mom's pleading, Dad went over to the neighbors to tell them what we saw. Mom wanted to completely stay out of it and was terrified, understandably. When we told the neighbors, they had no idea what we were talking about. They allowed Dad to go up to their room, and what he found that was holding the camera was an installed device in the wall that was designed to monitor water usage, which was completely normal at the time, as Brisbane had been hit with a drought recently and there were lots of water restrictions. Still is now, I think. The plumber had installed this into the wall but had fitted a camera behind it in the wall to watch the bed. Immediately, they called the police, who came over and conducted an investigation. For the next week or so, we didn't hear much about it. I spent most of the time just telling my friends, showing them pictures, but truthfully, my whole family was scared every night. Oh my god. It was just very creepy thinking that he could have stuff like that hidden in our house. Chances are we didn't, but it was still really scary. After a couple of weeks, my mom was speaking to the wife next door and asked what happened with it all. The wife said that the police found out he would at night come to our street and sit in this car, which had really tinted windows, and watch them on his laptop. Oh my god. Oh my god. When mom told me this, I got the biggest shivers. That was creepy as fuck. The reason was, beside the obvious of a creepy dude sitting in his car watching people through a hidden camera, was because on multiple nights when I had driven home late from my girlfriend's or walked home drunk after a night out, I remember seeing a station wagon. Don't know if that's what they're called outside of Australia, but it's like a big hatchback car. Always about 13 meters down the street from our house. It was never there during the day, always at night. Oh my god, always at night? This dude. I'd always walk past it and look at my reflection in the windows, assuming no one was inside. I was always confused by whose car it was, but literally never thought it was anything. Yeah, it still scares me so much that it was just this creepy fucking plumber sitting back in there on a laptop, watching a hidden camera stream of my neighbors. Oh my god, and the fact that the neighbors didn't know, they were like, oh my god, you're serious? Like, someone was watching us. If you felt like that with your family, imagine your neighbors how they felt. Anyways, that's my story. It's all true and still creeps me out to this day. But my friends and I have a good laugh about it. Uh After some time, yeah, it's funny. It's very funny. 12 years ago, yeah, we it's safe to laugh, you guys. It's safe to laugh. Oh my god, that fucking creep. You have corn, like you can watch corn. Damn. Ooh. Okay, guys. I'm shook. Tell me, what do you think about this story, and how would you feel to find out something like that about your neighbors? So, stay safe,